My biggest mistake as a journalist. Biggest mistake as a journalist. What is it? Well, what are other people's biggest mistakes? It's a popular question on Reddit right now. What are other people posting? What are other reporters posting? This one says they ran a snarky headline on Cyndi Lauper. This is a lot of upvotes. And then she had a little Cyndi Lauper tour and people didn't like the snarky headline and he got a lot of death threats. Okay, sounds more like an error than a mistake to me, but we can talk about that later. Published the details of a family member's passing before the family themselves knew the details. Local story. Definitely could be a mistake there. Wrote the Civil War general who captured Atlanta identified as, quote, Richard Sherman instead of William Tecumseh Sherman. Okay. The age of a city councilman when he first entered office was changed from 21, the correct age, to 25. Oh no. Messed up his age by 4 years. Big mistake. He emailed me to correct. Highly embarrassing. This person wrote, highly embarrassing. I bet it was. An update was done to a police department press release to announce an indictment for a car homicide. The accident was the previous week. While the article didn't get the date wrong, we needed to modify it to reflect that the incident did not occur the day we ran it. Another big mistake. Oh no. Look at all these mistakes we're out here making as journalists. Another person writes, got the time wrong on a Hopkins Nobel winner's press conference. My heart goes out to you, my friend. I'm sorry. That's such a big mistake. Honestly, I don't mean to put these down, but to me they sound more like errors than mistakes. Errors are if you get small bits of information wrong that are harmless ultimately, and then you quickly correct them. Those are errors, and we all make errors, particularly in journalism. In modern journalism, where the rate and frenzy of the information being published is so fast that errors are inevitable. But mistakes, at least for me, are something different. Mistakes are things that maybe should have never been done in the first place. So what are my biggest mistakes? Being in the newsroom when we all got sued by Alekshev for publishing the Steele dossier. That might have been a mistake. And just because we won the lawsuit doesn't mean it wasn't a mistake. Second mistake, I got a couple. Tracking down a young man who made a lot of money. This was right after the 2016 election. Profiting in fake news. Roughly how the game went, how he was making money is he would create a bunch of articles that with the headlines, Justin Bieber visits Traverse City. Which, of course, Justin Bieber never came to Traverse City, but the local community would be fascinated. They would see this headline, because he would promote it on Facebook, and they'd all click the article to read some made-up story. Totally fake. Or Keanu Reeves visits Bakersfield, California. Never occurred. But it was manipulating the idea that lots of local towns, small communities, were curious to be like, wow, a celebrity was coming, and so they would read these entirely fictional articles. This was, fake news was of the day. We were able to piece together that a lot of these articles were coming from a couple Google sites, kind of WordPress pages. And using some tricks that I won't go into, we were able to track down from his Facebook, from the Facebook publisher pages. It wasn't an individual, it was just celebrity news Facebook page. We were able to track down this individual's AdWords account, and once getting control of that AdWords account, we were able to get control of their AdSense account. And from their AdSense account, we reached out and figured out who this individual was. He was a pilot. That was his day job. That's how he made a living in California. And we asked him, how does he feel about making all this money? Trafficking in fake news by saying Justin Bieber is visiting Lawrence, Kansas. He didn't really like our questions. He didn't really answer them. But that's okay. We were able to track down exactly where he lived and where he worked. And we visited him where he worked and where he lived. We went to the aviation hangar and went up and said, hey, we know it's you. How do you feel about making hundreds of thousands of dollars trafficking in fake news? He didn't like that. His family didn't like that. I think that might have been a mistake. I think we pursued that story too aggressively. For an individual that was ethically on the fringe, trafficking in fake news, but saying Keanu Reeves is visiting Lincoln, Nebraska to give away puppies. Yeah, it's fake news, but is it really worth visiting somebody's employer over? I don't know. I think that was a mistake as a journalist on my part. Third mistake, deliberately publishing a story that showed a spike in police brutality in New York City by the NYPD. We were able to FOIA request a bunch of body cameras and CCTV cameras of NYPD officers going ham on suspects. We knew the footage would be shocking and jarring, and we never really followed up with what those incidents were about. Was the adrenaline spiked in the police? Had the suspect just done something to one of the officers? What was the full context around each part of the footage we were showing to show this narrative of police brutality? And I feel in my core we probably published this story because we knew it would get traffic. Not probably, we did know it would get traffic. We knew it would generate conversation, outrage, that it would hang so neatly or fit so snugly into the well-worn narratives that so many people already believe. That police abuse their power, that they're smug, that there's an epidemic of police brutality. And this footage that we were showing, and story through data, would only reaffirm that narrative. And we knew we would win points by doing so. I think that was probably a mistake. We didn't tell both sides of that story. Not like we should have. So those are real mistakes, at least for me. Being sued, going after people's employers, publishing footage that doesn't show the entire context. Mistakes have consequences on other people's lives. That's how I view mistakes. Not errors. I've published entire videos about things that were wrong. I ran a story about how there was a stampede in Mecca in Saudi Arabia one time, when in reality the footage and what had happened was actually 3 years ago. But I was moving fast. I had seen it come down the wire on Storyful. It looked like compelling footage. Quickly made up a video, wrote up a quick article about it, put it out, and realized, wait, this is 2 years old. Couldn't be bothered to fact check it in time. These were young, stupid errors. There's this motto I have, and I'm not always great at living up to it, but it goes, minimize harm. Minimize harm. In any situation that I'm in, and I have a variety of options, what's the one that minimizes harm? And whenever I look back and decide I did something as a journalist or reported a story that didn't minimize harm, that expedited traffic or glory, those are the mistakes. It's funny, on a side note, unlike a lot of journalists, I don't put in all the prestigious publications and companies I've worked for on Twitter or around Facebook, because there's a real utility in coming across as friendly, being underestimated, being harmless. Then you get people to talk, and then you crush them. Let me know what you guys think. Is there a difference between errors and mistakes? Leave a comment down below. If you like this video, hit like. If you dislike this video, dislike this video. Or subscribe or watch another video. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.